Okay, so here's my mediocre drawing of an origami swan. In my defense, they're not very interesting two-dimensionally, so I feel like I did a pretty good job. About a month ago, one of my best friends, Karis, decided to art direct a photo shoot for Elton John's Style Icon challenge. Some of the concepts that she really loves are surrealism and liminality, and basically just things where they're not supposed to be. The outfit that she chose was very street style space-ish. So naturally, she asked me to make a giant origami swan to put into this space-esque photo shoot concept. Hey, we're there. We're so there, and obviously I said yes because duh, I want to make a giant origami swan. First of all, to just see if I can do it, and second of all, because it's cool. And that's why anyone should do anything, I think. To see if you can, and because it's cool. Ooh, I'm gonna take that back immediately. Because that's gonna lead to the plot of Jurassic Park. I'm not very good at documenting the things that I do. This, what you're about to watch, is almost essentially just found footage. I did manage to record a little intro video on the day that she asked me to make the swan, so we're gonna watch that now. We're gonna watch that together. Today, Karis asked me to make a giant origami swan. I've never made a giant origami swan before, so this is going to be an adventure for all of us. We were at the library when she posed this to me. So I looked up, while we were sitting there, I looked up how to make a swan, and I had to get scrap paper from them. I should make another one just to remember how to do it. Okay, I'm back. And I have the swan. I did a little bit of cross multiplication. The only time I use math is if I'm doing something creative, and I think that's how it should be. The point of the math is to determine how big of a piece of paper we need in order to make a paper swan that is taller than Karis. And Karis is about 6 feet tall. So we said, we kind of want this thing to be 8 feet tall. You put 8 feet, because this is 5. So 5 over 8. So 0.42, which was 5, over which was 8, equals 8 feet over x. Cross multiply, you end up with 13 something. 13 and some change, which we rounded up to 14. So the conclusion is we need a piece of paper that is 14 feet wide. They don't make paper that's 14 feet wide. My initial thought was we get a bunch of poster board and we tape it together to create a 14 by 14 sheet of paper, but then we have to worry about the seams and a bunch of tape. If the tape comes undone, then you're getting a lot of you don't want pieces of paper that are doing that. Love how he's just sitting there. What we did was we bought backdrop paper that is 7 feet wide and it's 32 feet long, which means that we can cut 2 7 by 14 foot sections and then put them together to create a 14 by 14 sheet of paper. And it will only have one seam, which is much better than having a bunch of pieces of poster board with a bunch of different seams. Stay tuned for the paper swan.
Luckily we have paper.
Now we just have to roll out 2 7 foot by 14 foot sections.
Yeah.
It comes immediately back. Me when I make a montage and then decide to just talk over it anyway, I felt the need to kind of explain what I'm doing. Basically, I'm just measuring a 14-foot sheet of paper, but then I'm making sure that the 14-foot mark is consistent across the entirety of the top of the paper. It's the same thing you would do if you were marking a border on a canvas. And this is when I stood up too fast. Anyway, once we had both sheets of paper, I duct taped them together, and we had 2 different kinds of tape. The second one was better because it was a better color match, so we used that on the side of the paper that was going to be more visible. So now I have a giant piece of paper, and we have to fold it. I think the last time I recorded a voiceover for something was when I was in 10th grade and I made a video recapping the entirety of my AP European history class. And basically, the entire thing is a voiceover with like little videos of me doing skits to represent all the events from history. Anyway, the way we folded the swan is by looking up a WikiHow tutorial on how to fold an origami swan and then just doing that on a very large piece of paper. And I had to mute this section because we started listening to ATs, and I'm pretty sure that's copyrighted. In fact, I definitely know it's copyrighted, so I can't have you guys listening to what we're listening to. So sorry. There's the swan. Somehow we miscalculated, and it is not 8 feet tall. I think it must have been like an exponential thing, where like the larger the paper gets, the bigger the ratio between how big the piece of paper is and the height of the swan, I guess. So, and the base is too heavy and it doesn't stand up on its own, so we're gonna have to come up with
With an alternate plan.
with
Really cool.
as
And
long
it's
as Karis
and
likes
it's
it.
ridiculously large. I was saying, it just has to be comically large. This is comically large.
As long as Karis likes it, I'm happy. So I managed to document a lot of that mildly well. Unfortunately, this next part was me fixing the swan, and I documented this kinda. I have a lot of footage of me actually doing it. I don't have any footage of me explaining what I'm doing, so I'm here to explain it. There were a few problems with the swan. The biggest one being it wouldn't stand up on its own because the base was too heavy. So what I did was I made a triangular understructure out of Luan and duct tape. I had 2 boards of Luan that I cut down to be the dimensions of this. So I made a piece to go here, and it looked like that. Okay? Simple enough. And I only used a jigsaw to cut it, and when I finished it, I just duct taped it together because I didn't feel like figuring out glue and everything. So that was the first thing I did. Insert footage here. When I was editing and I got to this part, I forgot that I hadn't actually turned the volume down, so I nearly blew out my eardrum and I scared myself very badly by cutting from near silence to me using a saw very loudly. So yes, all I used was a jigsaw, and then I used 60 grit sandpaper to get all the burrs off the edges, and that was me being a beauty influencer, but it was, sandpaper. And then I just put the 2 boards together and I duct taped them. So yeah, I think I used like actual duct tape. I didn't use the paper tape we found. I'm not even sure if it was paper tape. I just found white tape in my basement and thought that it was a better color match than the duct tape we bought, and so I just used that, but I think this is the actual duct tape. So that is this is what I made here. So the paper, it goes out like this. So I made a board to sit here, but I don't want this tail end to sag, so I'm going to let me stand far enough back so you can actually see me. You can use one of these, put it at the end so it sticks out, so it'll just have this one piece right there. When I was in high school, I would do crew for theater, and I was the jigsaw master, but that's so beside the point right now. Anyway, so I took the little stick thing that I found, and then I put it at the center of the boards, where they converge and whatever, and then I just duct taped that down too, because we weren't going to deal with glue. We were on a time crunch, okay? And then I used a meter stick to like press all the creases down so it was nice and pretty and whatever, but it still looks jank, so. Okay. So by putting the little tail board in there, it does sort of inhibit the height of the swan. So next thing I'm going to do is go downstairs and get the swan, test it out, see how it's going. Okay, I'm back because once again, I did not really explain what the problem was. You would think that with the understructure, it would help the neck stand up on its own, but I think because there was so much weight up here that it kept just falling over. So initially, what I did to what I thought was going to fix the problem was I put a piece of wood here, I think it's just like a 1x1 piece of scrap wood that I just found it in the garage, so I used it. If you're at all wondering why I have so much random scrap wood and rolls of tape in my house, it's because my mom is very crafty, so most of the stuff that I use was hers at one point, and I just took it because she doesn't really use it anymore. So I'm duct taping the stick to the back of the swan's neck, and also I was watching the X-Files the entire afternoon I was making this. It was about here that I realized that the problem was actually not with the stem of the neck, but was rather with this part down here. I have no footage of explaining how I fixed this. Essentially, the way that the paper folds, there is a pocket, kind of, in the neck of the swan. Can you see how there's a pocket, like right here? I cut 2 more boards to fit right in here. Instead of taping them like here, I slid them into the pocket of the swan. And that hid them really well, and it didn't require me to get any more tape out. My lampshade is so dusty. Yeah, so like I said, I was watching the X-Files literally the entire time, and I guess at some point my headphones died, which is why this part is muted, because I was definitely watching it out loud. But guys, I love the X-Files, and this is me realizing in real time that the episode I was watching is about Mothman, and it made me really excited when I heard Mulder say the words Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Not because I've ever been there, but just because I watched that one episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved where they went to Point Pleasant, and I got really excited about Mothman. I also am a really big Bigfoot fan. In case you guys wanted to know that about me, there's a Bigfoot museum near where I work, and I've been there like 8 times, and I highly recommend it to everyone. But I love the X-Files. Yeah, so I cut 2 more pieces of Luan that would fit into the little pockets right here. So I put one on either side, and then that worked, actually. So I got it to stand up. The back end needs to be weighed down a little bit, but yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I'm gonna send a picture of it to Karis and then ask her if it is good, and then we'll move on from there. She needs a name, I think, but I'm going to pack some stuff up now, and got my bag here. This is usually my D&D bag, but today it's gonna be my production design bag? Prop maker's bag? Prop maker's bag. The shoot is at 6 and the location is 30 minutes away, but since I tracked Karis's location and she has not yet left her house, I'm gonna assume that we're not on schedule. So there's that. Swan & Co. in the back. I'm gonna drive to the location. I'm gonna stop by Chick-fil-A on the way there. Should I spend the money? No. No, I should not. But I wanted to get there in 6 minutes, and I'm 25 from the location, so I'm gonna eat on the road. I wasn't planning on doing any sort of voiceover for the photo shoot part, but I feel like I should explain what's going on here. So we were having a problem that the swan kept collapsing because the floor was really slick, and like we saw, I didn't put like a cross beam underneath the swan to make it stay as a triangle. So what I'm doing is I'm putting little wads of tape at the base of the swan so it would stick to the floor and stay up. in a commercial kitchen with a giant origami swan.
I honestly don't mind it being there. I think it kind of adds to the like, we're shooting this in the kitchen. You know what I mean?
Okay. So.
I'm so excited about this. I'm so sorry.
Okay. I'm good.
I'm so excited.
So, how wide of a frame are you thinking?
I would really love to do like a tighter frame, but also a wider one, because I love the line of this.
Yep.
I really like that line. So I would like some wide and also.
And then some vertical.
Yeah. I'm thinking that I'm really excited about this, and I'm thinking we pulled it off, and it's really exciting.
When it's both exciting and also really exciting.
See, when I only know one adjective, and it's exciting. I feel like today went really incredible. I think I felt a little bit crazy pitching this idea to everybody, and I appreciate how everybody went with the idea.
For context, the idea is giant origami swan in a commercial kitchen.
And also its space. I learned that I need to figure out how to be better. I think I was communicating clearly, but I think I could be communicating better. But like also everything turned out exactly what I was hoping. But I don't know if that's just because like my dad and I have some sort of like telepathy thing, and like we would kind of, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So yeah. Can I interview you in front of this one?
If you would like to.
I would love to interview you.
Since we're not going to need her anymore, I'm going to deconstruct this one a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I didn't record this well when I was at my own house.
I got you.
There are wooden boards in the neck that I just sort of slid in there. So these are what are supporting.
And what did you learn today?
I learned how to make a giant origami swan.
Yeah.
Which, that's the best part about, I'll say like prop making and production design. On my end, in my limited experience, it's making weird stuff. It's your friends coming to you in the library going, giant origami swan, and me going,
Well, you ate it up. And you look so official with your little scissors in your pocket.
oh, thank you.
It's been a good day.
With this one.
If the camera angle is different, it's because my phone straight up died. So yeah, I think I said everything I needed to say about the swan itself. Go vote for Karis. I'll link all of her stuff in the description. I'm so proud of her for even submitting to this competition. This is something that she would have absolutely not done just a year ago. I've known Karis for like half my life, and this is so out of her comfort zone, but she's killing it. She's just so cool. All my friends are so cool. She's also an angel of a human being. I need that to be on the record. Karis is one of the sweetest people you will ever meet. Just like being in her presence, like the air feels lighter. Like she is just such an angelic person. She also looks like a fairy. So you guys should go vote for her because she's kind of the best. Anyway, so yeah. Oh, what's the bit? Well, there was a lot of agreement, a lot of disagreement, and then I gotta get out of there. And now, I gotta get out of here. If you have any questions about how I made this, or questions about like other props, I like figuring things out. That's one of the reasons why like prop making and production design is really fun for me. It's also why I enjoy sewing. I don't usually sew with a pattern because I like the puzzle aspect of it. I also used to design escape rooms, but that's like a whole other thing. So I don't know, if you want to ask me how to make something that you can't find on the internet, I can like try to figure it out. I don't know why, but AI couldn't help me with this. So ask me, dog. If you want to follow along with me on my writing journey, which I talk about my writing a lot in the other video that I posted, I'm gonna start revising my book soon, which is a daunting prospect because it's like a 1,500 page book. Probably gonna post a lot about that on my Instagram, so you can follow me on Instagram, you can follow me here if you want to subscribe. I'm never gonna be comfortable saying that, but I think that's everything. I love you all. Bye.